SummerSlam, the 35th anniversary of or 35th annual. Don't let me with the 35th anniversary. I'm not doing that. Let's not. No.
Yeah, we're not going to that.
35th annual SummerSlam this weekend, Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee. And, talking, obviously, Vince McMahon, this is his first non-SummerSlam he's going to be a part of. And a lot of intriguing things coming out, both because it's a big pay-per-view, because, people love to talk. That's what the world of wrestling is about. Vince McMahon's not around. I think the card is pretty solid for what it is. For a pay-per-view, the first ever SummerSlam in July, coming only just, I feel like, a few weeks after Money in the Bank. I think it's a pretty decent card. I think it's going to be a pretty good show. But I think some of the things that are making it maybe not a good show open it up to be an even better show. I guess we can go through this. Well, first, let's go through some rumors before we go through match by match or anything like that. Seth Rollins, what do you see his involvement at SummerSlam being? Do you see him thrown in here to the main event? Do you see him winning the championship? Do you see a WrestleMania 31 all over again? What do you see Seth Rollins' involvement?
I think he's going to be a last-minute addition to the Roman Reigns Brock Lesnar match. I don't see him winning because I think it would be terrible booking it'd be a crazy start if no Vince, no Roman as champ. That'd be real interesting. And it would be a big statement. We know that. But I think I would realistically say Roman Reigns versus Brock versus Seth Rollins for all the marbles. I think that's where it goes. And Roman Reigns, which we'll get to that later. But I don't see Seth walking out of the stadium as champ.
I mean, that would be, it'd be like WrestleMania 31. It would catch everyone off guard. It would change storylines drastically. Obviously, a lot of people are predicting, Seth and Cody are going to fight in the future, whether that's a main event of next year's WrestleMania. This could be the start of that. Focusing still here on the main event of Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar not winning in this last man standing match. I mean, how do you do that? I mean, Brock Lesnar can only lose so much, I guess. We've talked about this over and over again. How do you have, do you have Seth Rollins get involved and maybe cost Brock Lesnar the match and then set up a program between those two?
That could be a good idea. I think, and you're onto something with that. It kind of made me think here for a second. I think just to make it look better on from a grand, I guess, spectrum, or this is kind of the big picture. I don't think if they're going to put Seth Rollins in the match, not only is he not winning, but he's taken the fall. He's taken the fall. He's going to take the pinfall submission. I think if anyone's going to lose, that's who loses.
Now I know WWE's done this before for sure, but they definitely are making this like a hyped as a one last match between Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. So hopefully what they mean by that is some sort of indication that they are trying to, at least for the current time being, so we don't, at Royal Rumble or Clash at the Castle or one of these, have this match yet again. But, a lot of intrigue in this match because of the fact that Roman Reigns, he's got to lose the championship eventually. And there's just never a good time to pick. It's like, it reminds me of like the UConn women's basketball team from many years ago in NCAA women's basketball. They won 100 games in a row and they got to lose eventually. But then you look at their opponent and be like, it's not going to be them. And you're like, well, when is it? And you're like, I don't know. But there was no opponent. And I feel like that with Roman Reigns, there's really nobody on the horizon that you're going to make me think. It's like The Undertaker when he had the streak going. People like, if it's not Brock, then who? I mean, that's a good question. There was nobody really on the horizon, at least from a perspective of people who are still there. I mean, with The Undertaker,
I would be very surprised if Roman drops the belt before WrestleMania. I think Roman is going into WrestleMania continually as the champion.
No, and I feel that way too, but it's just one of those, he's been champion for just a long period of time.
Yeah, almost 2 years now.
And I feel like SummerSlam is as big of an event as any, kind of event. I know WrestleMania is the biggest event, but these are very big events. These aren't in your houses.
Yeah, this
is the WrestleMania of the summer, and it's so far removed from WrestleMania and so far removed from the next year's WrestleMania that it's not like the Royal Rumble where you're like, well, WrestleMania is just a month away. I see him gonna take the belt into no. If he wins here and you keep it till, I mean, that's another 5 or 6 more title defenses,
which I'm okay with. And let me ask you this: I know before
against who?
They're going to have to bring. I mean, Riddle's going to be in the picture. That's for
Riddle's
sure.
already had his match. He's lost.
He's going to have another match. Riddle is one of those guys.
Didn't he? He's going
to be a champion. I'm telling you, he's going to be the undisputed champion. I would say in the next 12 to 24 months. That's my prediction for Riddle. I think he is going to be a Universal Champion in the near future. Now, I don't want to get to the matches just yet. I know we're still talking rumors a little bit here.
Uh-huh.
I got to throw some names out that at least I've been hearing on the rumor mill. Bayley finally returning.
I mean, finally, I don't know what the holdup with her is, but yeah, I mean, that's long overdue.
Do you think she gets...
as long as is she still in WWE? I mean, for somebody who is still in WWE, that's long overdue.
I got to ask you, wouldn't it be interesting if she got involved in the Rousey, say Rousey, Liv Morgan, and she cost Rousey the match, and then they have a Bayley Rousey program? That'd be pretty good.
Again, that'd be interesting to see. Ronda Rousey, I think, is big enough to have a non-championship kind of singles women match.
I agree.
We don't normally see it. We've talked about it before. We didn't have it. Everyone said we were going to at WrestleMania.
I mean, I would see I'd like to see Becky and Bayley again. That's always good stuff. That's good. That's money right there. And then here's the other.
Becky and Bayley could revitalize that women's tag team division that they've been putting off because of probably another rumor. I mean, do we see Sasha and Naomi?
I mean, that's another interesting rumor. I mean, maybe now that thing, maybe they're. I mean, according to these reports that are supposedly out in the world, they're trying to kind of soften things up a little bit. Kind of, hey, let's cooler heads prevail. Let's work something out. Maybe that happens. I would say this. I'm going to go on record, and this could blow up in my face recording next week. Mm-hmm. I see a better chance of seeing Bray Wyatt at SummerSlam this weekend than I see Sasha and Naomi showing up at SummerSlam.
What about Edge? What about Edge making... I mean, I thought he was going to be at the Garden.
That's the thing. They advertised that. They advertised he was going to be at the Garden. Is what I was by all accounts that I saw out there. I was expecting Edge to show up, and I watched the entire show expecting him to be there, and there's no Edge. I think at this point, I think Edge comes back in the Mysterios versus the Judgment Day. I think that's the rumor. That'd be my for this match. That's the rumor I'm thinking. I think Edge is going to cost the Judgment Day the match. I think that's what happens.
Did you like Monday Night Raw kicking off with Logan Paul and The Miz kind of, just right off the gate?
Trading barbs, yeah. That was interesting. I got to say Maurice did a great job as well. I mean, Maurice is not known for being... I don't think she's known as being a strong mic person, but I think she did pretty good. And, with her, like she played it pretty well where she couldn't say, like, what is it, genitalia? I think she was having a... But she played it up well. I thought she did a good job there. And I thought that segment was good for what it was. I think it's a good build for this weekend.
So I imagine you have Logan Paul winning this. I mean, I think that goes without saying.
Yeah, or
maybe losing. I mean, again, Logan Paul, he's apparently here for the long haul, right? So
yeah, but I think at this point, the Miz pulled a fast one on him the last time they were in a match together. I think this time Logan Paul gets the win. I think there's not too many wrestlers in the business, no matter what promotion, that'll put you over better than the Miz. That's just a fact. Regardless of what you think of the Miz as a performer, which I keep him in high regard. I put him in high regard. Not only is he, I think he's a very good wrestler. I think he's underrated, but he's obviously one of the best on the mic in the business. I don't care what promotion you're in. I like to see eventually someday maybe we'll see like a Miz MJF, but that's another story for another day. But Miz is just the perfect guy to get Logan Paul on the winning track to help give him a little, I guess, credibility. I guess that's the word.
The two women's matches, Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch. Liv Morgan versus Ronda Rousey. Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch, that's a rematch from last year's SummerSlam. At least this time it's prepared. It was supposed to be Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks. Ended up becoming Becky Lynch at the last minute. Ruining Bianca Belair's championship run in which she won the belt at WrestleMania and then was blindsided at SummerSlam. This year she has a match where she is the champion again, but obviously more prediction or more, way to prepare. And Liv Morgan against Ronda Rousey for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Do you see any title changes? I will say without interferences or stuff like that, I'm picking Ronda Rousey. I mean, Liv Morgan, I like her and all, but it's not that I'm not sold on her, but again, this is coming from a Vince McMahon perspective, but I'm yet to see differently, I guess. I'm not going to start throwing out how other people book things crazily because Vince McMahon's not there. I'm saying Ronda Rousey. She's going to get the championship back. I think that Liv Morgan thing, that's a great run for her. Good that she was champion. Cool moment in her life. But like Natalya or some of these others, I don't see her as one of the 4 horsewomen kind of people.
I'll just say it like this, and I know you said, interferences aside, I don't think this match ends without interference. I think this match has the returning Bayley costing Ronda Rousey for the match, and Liv Morgan retains. That's where I'm going. I don't see this finishing clean. I just don't.
Tag team championships, the Undisputed. We talked about Roman Reigns win. Is he going to lose? Well, the Usos have a very formidable foe in the Street Profits. Double J Jeff Jarrett will be the special guest referee doing double duty this weekend in his town of Nashville. Should be Jeff Jarrett weekend for all that he's doing. But he's going to be the special guest referee in this match for WWE. The Usos and Street Profits. Obviously, it was the match of the night at Money in the Bank. What are you expecting for this match at SummerSlam? Better, on par with Money in the Bank? Championships changing hands?
I think it's going to be definitely on par for what they've done. I mean, the Street Profits and the Usos, they always put on great matches. I will say one name to look out for in this match is Angelo Dawkins. I know he had kind of that coming out party in the last match, but I think you're going to see him. I think he's going to shine above the other 3. I really do. I mean, Montez is going to do what Tez does.
So do you see the Street Profits winning this?
I think Angelo Dawkins gets the win for him. I really do. I think it's time for the Profits to get the titles. That'd be a really nice change of pace because, I mean, the Usos are the Usos. They're they're arguably the best tag team in wrestling nowadays. I mean, FTR could argue that obviously, but I think the Street Profits, I think they're due. I think Angelo Dawkins is going to, I think he could be the star of this match, and I think the Profits are going to win. Bobby
Lashley in theory for the United States Championship. I'm going with Bobby Lashley here, just because I think Theory has got, he's just got so much distraction, I guess, in the sense of what else he's talking about with holding Money in the Bank, and I just don't feel like, he's going to be all in on this match, and they're going to be all in on giving him back the U.S. Championship when they've got, bigger plans for him. Maybe not at SummerSlam, but just in general.
Yeah, I think Theory takes the L. I think Lashley wins. I think that to me is the easiest prediction of the night. That's just, well, yeah, I would say that's probably the easiest prediction of the night because I think Theory has got bigger plans on the horizon.
I think a pretty easy prediction is another one of those gimmick matches. 2 former teammates, right? Did I see that right?
They were for a cup of coffee. I mean, Pat McAfee was an all-pro. Happy Corbin. Yes. Did he make it there? Yes. That kudos.
He's
to
got
him.
a picture in a uniform. That's
okay. So does Brock Lesnar.
So does Roman
Reigns. And here's the thing. Just to get there and even have your picture, in uniform, that's a pretty damn good, good deal. That means you're pretty good at what you do. I mean, he had a cup of coffee in the league. So just like the NFL careers compared, Pat McAfee had a better career than Happy Corbin in the NFL, and he's going to get the win just like he has the winning career in the NFL. He's going to have a great match. I think Pat McAfee could steal the show.
I think Happy Corbin's going to do similar to what The Miz does, and he's going to make Pat McAfee look great.
Yeah, he's going to make him look like $1 million. I think Pat McAfee's going to have a great show. He's going to put on a great show, and Happy Corbin will make him look like $1 million.
So Seth Rollins and Matt Riddle isn't happening. We kind of alluded to that earlier on in this prediction, and maybe that he's involved in the main event somehow. There's other rumors out there, and it's kind of strange that because there's 1 million people out there. But some are saying Johnny Gargano. That would be like...
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
I mean, he'll be around. There's all sorts of StarCast stuff going around Nashville all weekend long. So there's lots of people going to be around. A lot of people are saying maybe AJ Styles. He's not on this card.
I know. That's what disappoints me because AJ Styles is one of the best competitors in the world. I mean, why not I mean, why not have AJ Styles on the card against Seth Rollins? Even if you have no booking, just putting a match together, it's a hell of a match.
One thing that's kind of strange here with SummerSlam, and we talked about this before, the fact that, they're hyping up this show. It's a big stadium show, but yet there's a match on SmackDown that has importance of people who are not involved in this at all. The number one contendership, I think it's a Donnybrook street fight or something. Sheamus, Drew McIntyre finally going to decide who the number one contender for the Undisputed Championship is at Clash at the Castle. That happens this Friday on SmackDown in Atlanta. Of course, why wouldn't it be in Atlanta? With SummerSlam in Nashville and the eyes of the wrestling world in Nashville, why wouldn't it be not in Nashville? And, I think of all the places to do this, it is dumb. I think SmackDown would be great. Maybe not Raw, because, again, it's a couple days later. I understand that, but you have the Undertaker one-man show, and it's starting at 10 o'clock on Friday night. And I think 10 o'clock strategically, because they don't want two things to go against each other. They want people to be able to watch SmackDown and then go to this one-man show. And from the Bridgestone Arena to where he is doing this one-man show is like a 4-minute walk. So, I mean, this stuff could have worked out perfectly for WWE to have SmackDown, the Bridgestone Arena. You have people involved in it that aren't involved, like similar to when I went to the SmackDown the night before WrestleMania. You had, the Madcap Moss of the world who weren't on the WrestleMania card, or the Finn Balor's who weren't on the WrestleMania card involved in SmackDown. So you're trying to make this an event where people fly to it and come out and make it a whole weekend. And you have, essentially that right at your fingertips. And I can't imagine the Bridgestone Arena is... WWE can get whatever they want. But the fact that there's not NHL season or anything like that, I feel like they should be there. Personally, I feel like this SummerSlam should probably be in England overall, just because of the fact that they're having that big English show in September. And it's the 20th anniversary of the last time they had a big show in the UK with SummerSlam 92. It's kind of like weird that, 30 years later, we're going to have another big show. I mean, 30 years after WrestleMania 3, they celebrated the anniversary by having WrestleMania 23 in Detroit, not by having SummerSlam 2020, in Detroit. So, again, if they weren't going to England at all, I'd say maybe not. But the fact is they are essentially commemorating. They are returning to the UK. They are celebrating that anniversary, but they're not doing it in the way that they're having SummerSlam there. But, finishing things out, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar. We talked about Seth Rollins coming in. Some final thoughts. You see Roman Reigns living with the belt?
Yeah, Roman's taking home the belt, and I think, again, Seth Rollins will be the one who takes the fall.
And we can't go SummerSlam weekend without the true main event. The true match of the weekend. I need your prediction. Sunday night, July the 31st from the Nashville Municipal Auditorium. It's Ric Flair with Andrade, his son-in-law, one of his many son-in-laws,
nice touch,
versus Jay Lethal and the guy who's going to be the special guest referee in the tag team match at SummerSlam, Jeff Jarrett.
Double booked, Double J.
Double booked. It's expecting to be, a big weekend for Ric Flair. All part of that StarCast event. I mean, we know New Japan is in town. GCW's in town. There's the roast of Ric Flair on Friday night.
Yeah.
That'd be perfect, if I could go, and I'm not going, but that's a story for another day. I will return. This is my first SummerSlam I'm not going to that was allowed to have fans at it since 2018, which is strange because I never went to any of the SummerSlams that were at Barclays Center, which is not too far from here. But then when I went to the one in Toronto, then it just snowballed into then Vegas, and I really wish I was going. I mean, if there's really, it's really unfortunate. Believe me, lots of plans. I tried to attend a lot of this stuff, and I'd probably be trying to attend the roast of Ric Flair on Friday night. And then obviously the big match on Sunday. Who do you think is winning on Sunday night in that tag team match?
Ric Flair's going out as the winner, baby. Let's go.
And here's the thing. And if Ric Flair does go out as the winner, then what that shows to me is a lot. And it shows to me that is why maybe WCW had its issues back in the day, and that is why you can't have people booking their own matches, because it is a time-honored tradition that you are supposed to go out on your back. And if he is booking this, and he is showing that he is in 100% in charge of what the result of this is,
he's taking the
and
win,
that he
man.
is taking the win, then that shows you why somebody like a Ric Flair or talent in general shouldn't be in charge to begin with.
I think it's going to be fun regardless. I get the whole shtick of, you leave your boots in the ring, this and that. I just want to see Rick go out with a win. That's just me selfishly booking it. and maybe he books it that way. But I will not be disappointed if Double J pulls out the win. I don't care who wins the match. I don't have a dog in the fight. I just want to. I kind of do want to see Ric Flair go out as the winner.
We will see SummerSlam this weekend. It's an event. If I was there, I'd be watching it live, but I won't be watching it live because I will still be out of town because I can't just sit and watch it on TV and be all sad about it. I got to go do something else. So I won't be watching it live, but I will be watching it, right after. So maybe, Brandon, you'll have to take charge of the Twitter account with all your SummerSlam updates on Saturday night. But SummerSlam, the 35th SummerSlam, this Saturday night from Nissan Stadium in Nashville. A different look. I'm very curious about the look for SummerSlam this upcoming week. They're using half the stadium, but not in the traditional way that they use half the stadium elsewise. They're putting the ring at midfield, and then they are using one side of the arena of stadium. Normally they do, when they use stadiums, they do half of them. They use the end zone kind of model. What you saw, basketball wise, the Spurs did, where, you have the basketball court in the end zone, or the ring in the sense like last year in the end zone. They're using one whole side essentially from 100-yard line to end zone to end zone. They're using from end zone to end zone, but they're only going to have the camera focused on one side.
That'll be a cool.
It's going to be interesting for panoramic shots.
It'll be a cool look, I think.
We'll see. We'll see how it looks this Saturday night. SummerSlam from Nashville.